lads, so continuing on our series of using the best and worst character this time in any given year. For today's video, we're here to focus on the best and worst character released within the year 2021. Coincidentally though, the first time we did do the best and worst for the years, we did do it at the start of 2021, where at that point in time, the best character was Nemu, the Machine Society version, and the worst character was Zayel. That, of course, was 2 years ago. Is it different? Of course it is. Let's have a look and compare the best and worst character. So, of course, the best character released within the year 2021, I thought it would be a difficult choice, but it really wasn't. We have 6th anniversary Aizen. This character was revolutionary for the game. Not only was he the first character to introduce 2 status elements for one particular character, it was also something that we've been asking for years. That being a new overpowered Aizen, but this time for the anniversary. For those wondering, this is the build that we do have on Aizen: a Lieutenant's Badge, Fortification Pill, and of course, Artisanal T-Set. His links are a hybrid of recharge and full stamina, recharge and strong attack damage, and for his bonus abilities, we have full stamina damage and also damage to weakened enemies. I'm not gonna lie though, it feels very weird and scary for the fact that he is almost 2 years old. Literally this time in July, he is about to be 2 years old, which is crazy to think about. Having said that though, this Aizen was absolutely revolutionary for the game. He has just been absolutely insane. Even 2 years later, he still holds up as one of the best heart characters in the game, only recently being topped by Bruno and also 1000 Year Old Ichigo, who did release late last year. Now, the reason why this character was special was, for starters, weakening and drain on every attack is absolutely amazing, right? It's an unreal combination, and for the first character to ever have 2 status elements, they started it off with an absolute banger. Additionally, the strong attacks this character have, besides looking amazing, are some of the best you can ask for in the entire game. His SA1 is a beam forwards, and for him, it was the first time he had that extra bit of whiff to it, so it was the best iteration and new iteration of that SA1. His SA2 is a tracking vortex, which is great for the fact that he does have Frenzy +2 with weakening and also drain, but it was also the second time we ever saw this SA2 after 5th anniversary Byakuya actually introduced it. With the fact that he just looks great, is a heart character, let's use our Soul Bomb. This Aizen and still is an absolute treat to play with. Still one of the coolest characters in the game. We got a 1 minute until 2nd clear time. Not the fastest, we weren't really going for like a super fast clear time. Just demonstrating him. But this Aizen was so great, I had to max transcend him twice. And as for our worst character, we of course have this version of Zayel, which funny enough just got remade and is also setting up to be one of the worst end of month characters of the year. The new one isn't that bad though, keep that in mind. But this character, when he came out, was just very weird. For starters, he was a Crystal and Jewel Soul trait. Now that isn't that bad nowadays, we've gotten a lot of Crystal and Jewel characters, but back at the start of 2021, this was unheard of. We hadn't seen a soul trait like this in years. For those that are wondering though, very similar build. We have a Fortification Pill, a Spider Chair, and also a Classic Teacup. And then for his links, we have a hybrid of recharge and full stam, recharge and strong attack damage, and also recharge and strong attack damage. Bonus abilities include full stamina and also long strides. Jumping into the quest though, I'm not looking forward to this. So in this case, Zayel's strong attack kit is the main thing that just brings him down. Look at this. He has an SA2 vortex, bro. A plant vortex. That is one of the worst things you could ask for when it comes to SP characters, right? For net characters, it's not that bad. It's still kind of like the worst variation of a vortex you can get because it's a stationary one. As you can see there, it's not hitting the ones that spawn behind us. If it was a tracking vortex, a moving vortex, you know, we could work with that, but for this, not so much. You're going to see that we're going to be going through his quest very slow. Our strong attacks are still doing some respectable amount of damage. That mainly comes from the fact that we have T20'd him and also I'm at level 10 SP, but even then, not really the greatest, right? Let's get up close and personal, make sure we use that SA1 so we can actually do something, and then we can use our SA2, which I will say does look really cool. That's one thing both Zayels have, the new one and this one, is that they have a really cool looking vortex. I prefer this one because it has the Miranda Riders. We're literally using ourselves to attack the enemies, I guess, and we got hit. Great. We have to keep it though. We have to keep it going. We have to keep it going. Okay, I didn't kill. Wow. I will say that I do like the visuals. Usually based on Aaroniero, even the spiders don't really look the best per se. But Zayel somehow ends up looking a bit fun. Mainly just because the attacks that he does do usually consist of him using the Aaroniero, right? His Fraction. So it makes it feel a bit different for the most part, which I don't mind. But even then, I would still just rather a resurrected version of any character. For me, it's their best looking forms, and it also allows them to demonstrate more of the cool looking abilities, which unfortunately you don't really get with any of the base from Aaroniero, which is why the last couple of Soul Banners have been a bit boring in my opinion. I don't think I'm in the minority, but I just think most people just don't like base form stuff. Maybe we'd be a bit more accepting of it if it was, spaced out a bit. When you're giving us like 8 characters in base forms, it gets kind of annoying. What is annoying though is this character's slowness. This is terrible. We're going through it so slow. We're having to use like multiple strong attacks on one character. It doesn't help either that his killer isn't even that good. Not like it matters because he doesn't have it here, but he has Quincy killer, which back in 2021 wasn't really the greatest killer because I don't believe we had much Quincy content. Now we do, so it's gotten better, I guess. Not for Zapro's case though. But I guess now we have Quincy IT, we have Quincy Guild Quest 2. Back in 2021, you didn't have that, so it was shocking to see a character like this release. Unfortunately, there's still more enemies. Finally going into the final room, we get to use our soul bomb.
できるだけ完品に近い形状で死んでくれ。
It's an alright soul bomb. We didn't even kill. Okay. But Okura finally goes down. We're the better Sparta. Come on. And I always find that end screen funny. It's like bro's laughing at me for using him. Like, my bad, Zapro. I just wanted to do it for a little video. In that case, though, look at the difference in clear time. With Aizen, and we weren't even going for like a super fast one, we got 1 minute and 15 seconds. With Zapro, we got a 3 minute and 59 seconds. A pretty big gap between the best and worst characters, especially considering the fact they both released in the same year. Now, what makes them different? Let's do a closer comparison. For starters, when it comes to the killer effects, Aizen does have the advantage here, having Soripa and also Captain. He is an anniversary character, so he was given special treatment, having 2 killers. That overall makes him more usable in other content, and he's more likely to have killer effect here. In Aizen's case, it works for him both in Guild Quest content and even Brave Battles. In Zapro's case, having a Quincy killer really isn't the greatest thing, since when it comes to the normal enemies that we see in PvE content, you very rarely, if ever, see Quincy enemies. Especially back in 2021, that was almost non-existent. When it came to the damage output between the two, of course, Aizen was a special case. He was the first character in the game to have Frenzy +2, but he also had more damage at full stamina. With weakening and drain on every single attack, he was easily able to stay at full stamina, but also just do a ridiculous amount of damage and constantly inflict weakening thanks to the fact that he did have a really powerful SA2, that being the distant AoE into a tracking vortex. Aizen's strong attacks were some of the best in the entire game and still are some of the best in the game. When it comes to having a favorite character, you most likely want them to have Aizen's kit, whereas Zapro unfortunately had some of the worst strong attacks in the game, a pushback SA1, a plant vortex SA2, a standard full screen, but damage output, frenzy +1 and 20% berserker was basically the bare minimum. Sure, he did more damage to poison enemies, but that really doesn't matter that much. And it also doesn't help too that Zapro doesn't even have built-in recharge. Nowadays, if a character comes with a non-recharge soul trait, they usually have recharge built into the character through the skills. Zapro unfortunately released before that time, so he's one of the few characters, especially in 2021, to have no recharge built into them. That ultimately meant that their strong attacks, which are already lackluster, are now just coming back significantly slower. And of course, when it came to survivability, Aizen with the immunities and also drain allows him to easily stay at full stamina, whereas Zapro has 1 immunity but no way to heal himself. You saw in our particular run, we took damage and we couldn't get back up to full stamina. But that's basically the best and worst character in the year 2021, 6th anniversary Aizen, releasing for the 6th anniversary, being the best character in the game, absolutely broken character, and held that title for the rest of the year. Aizen, in my opinion, is a milestone character, super iconic, at least to me, whereas Zapro was one of those he wasn't even forgettable. He was a character that released that was just shockingly bad. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time, take care, and peace.